another episode of Meet Houston, your go-to show that gives you everything that's happening within the city. I am your host, Mika Diamond.
And I am Latisa B.
And I am Chris Bryan.
And we are so excited on this episode. Our first episode was absolutely amazing. So let's talk about the premiere episode, ladies. We had so much feedback from that episode.
Yes,
I'm still getting messages.
Yes.
Really?
So when's the next one?
Right.
Yes,
Well, here it is. It wasn't enough time.
Yes.
We need
that
more.
was the biggest comment
Yeah.
I got. Like, as soon as
It's
they
not
got
long
into
enough.
it was going over. So definitely wanted more time.
Right. So let's talk about what we talked about. Let's give them a recap of those who didn't get a chance to watch the episode so they can go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Right. So we talked about expectations versus accustomed to.
Yeah, I was supportive of what I'm accustomed to. But my sis, on the other hand, was...
Yeah, I had expectations that is no exception to the rule.
And I was just in the middle trying to make both sides happy in the first episode. But I agree with both of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just depends on the upbringing and who you are. And as we did say in the first episode, it determines how you feel
Yes.
That's
about the
important.
individual.
Right. How
right?
you feel and how much work you're willing to put
Yes.
into
Are you
that
willing to make
relation.
the investment?
Yes. Oh, yes, the investment.
And that's financially and time.
Yes.
And
Right.
emotionally.
Yes,
Emotions.
Emotions. That's
Yeah.
the biggest
That's the
investment. I
worst
really
one. You
think.
walk away with scars
Yes.
when it
Yes. And the next person, unfortunately,
deals with that baggage.
yes.
See? That was in the first episode. Imagine what is going to take place today in the Rose Bowl Chronicles, right? So we are going to go into a commercial break because we have some interesting things to talk about that my sisters are going to share with you guys. So make sure that you stay right there. We'll be right back with some more information on Meet Houston.
Are you having child support issues? Are you going through a divorce? Are you going through a custody battle? I know that your family, children, and property are very important to you, and having to navigate through the legal system is probably one of the most difficult experiences you will have to encounter in your lifetime. Please call the Jones Law Firm at 713-222-0196. The Jones Law Firm is committed to helping you in your time of need. Call 713-222-0196 to schedule a consultation today.
Welcome back to Meet Houston. Let's talk about what's going on this month. As you know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But I also want to let you all know that there is some fun going out at the Kemah Boardwalk. Just a short 45-minute drive. You can have all the food, dance, and fun that you want. And it's a safe place for kids.
Wow.
Yes.
We're going to have a really good time this month.
Yes.
Especially during the pandemic to be
I
able
know.
to get out and have a good time.
Yes,
Yeah.
we need that break.
Yes,
We
yes,
need that break.
yes.
I'm so willing and can't wait to drive down to Kemah just to enjoy a day out on the
Yeah.
boardwalk.
And family.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's the good
It's,
thing.
it's a Halloween time,
Yeah.
so they have special events for the kids
Okay.
that are out there. So grab their costumes,
Yes.
do some trick-or-treating. It's a great time
Yeah.
out on the Kemah Boardwalk.
Yeah.
And Chris, I think you have some fun facts that's going on in Houston.
I do. A lot of people are not aware that Houston is the 4th largest populated city in the United States, but we speak more than 145 languages right here.
Wow.
Y'all know we diverse. You can
Yeah.
go on this side of the Beltway and be in Chinatown, cross over the Beltway and be in Vietnam. Am I lying? No, we're
You are
known for
not.
our diversity, and that's a good fun fact.
When you can go on a street and the street sign changed to a whole nother country.
Yes.
Another language. I'm talking about X's and O's, y'all. Only in Houston.
Only in Houston. And only on Meet Houston where you can get what's happening within the city and you can also get some Houston fun facts. So we have an amazing topic to talk about today. You know, if you didn't witness the first episode, we have something new that we introduced this season. So we're going to get into a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to get into a full conversation on what we're going to find out in the Rose Bowl Chronicles. We'll be right back. back. And if you haven't prepared yourself for this conversation, then I believe you need to prepare yourself. We are getting ready to go into the Rose Bowl Chronicles. So, ladies, so we had an amazing topic in the last episode. But this episode, it gets a little deeper, right? So we're going to talk about obligations of men and women in relationships.
Okay.
You know, this is serious because old school, let's just say old school versus new school, right? Because the old ways, the man took care of the household. The woman stayed home, prepared dinner, cooked, clean, and kept the children. Boy, have times changed.
Yes.
In this season, these generations, the men are staying at home and the women are going out. So let's talk about some obligations. Do you have some obligations that you have? I know we had expectations versus accustomed to. So what do you feel are obligations when it comes to somebody that you're dating, or you'll say that is your significant other?
If we've gotten to that part, let's get that established. We're talking about somebody that I've chosen. Okay, honesty.
Yeah.
You're obligated to tell the truth. And what I mean, if you've been in prison, you're obligated to tell me that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like in prison.
I'm talking about clink.
Okay.
Yeah, behind bars, you know, you did a bid.
Listen.
Gone to November.
That's very important because that can have a lasting effect on your relationship.
And it also establishes how you function in the world.
Yeah.
Some of these guys come out institutionalized.
Now that's something. I don't think they even been to jail to be institutionalized sometimes.
Yes, because we can get institutionalized just in previous relationships.
Very true.
Yes.
That's another one. Do you suffer with mental illness? Some of these military guys, they have PTSD, and we don't understand why certain noises and sounds startle them, or when they're really aggressive, or, you know, but if you don't share that and we could talk about it, it's possible we can work through it. But if you haven't communicated that, I think you're obligated to tell your mate those things.
Well, nowadays, you don't even have to be in the military to suffer with PTSD.
That's true.
Actually, just being black is enough to suffer
Very
with
true.
PTSD in today's society for our African American men.
That's
Absolutely.
true. That's true.
And then, you know, something else that we have to be mindful of, people have different upbringings.
Yes.
And so sometimes your household and how you were raised can have a lasting effect mentally on how you respond in a relationship. Right. So let's just say, for instance, let's say a household where a woman was single and she had to be the one who was obligated to do everything.
Okay.
As a man, as you see your mother having to take care of everything, do you think mentally that they still feel that way as an adult?
Potentially, because, you know, sometimes you get with a mate and you find yourself having to be their mom because you got to do their laundry. You know, there's things that they don't know how to do. And then you get into a relationship with them, and I'm not your maid. I go to work just like you, and we have to, I think women, that's what we are obligated to do, set the standard of cleanliness. How we going, you know, because men are not accustomed to doing the cleaning all the time.
See, I don't totally agree with that.
Okay.
I think it should be, it's a partnership.
Absolutely.
Because you dirty up just as much as I dirty up. So there is no obligation that you should clean and I should do this. If you see it's dirty, clean it. If you see the dishes need to be washed, wash it. There is no roles in my house.
Oh, now, okay. So here it is. The bomb is getting ready to drop, and the people are getting ready to start screaming. So, no obligations in the household, right? So, what if you are the stay-at-home and your significant other is the worker? You mean to say that there's no obligation of when I come home I need a meal cooked and a house clean?
Well, that's not the same. Because if I'm a stay-at-home parent or stay-at-home, it's my job.
That's your position
That's
as a
my
partner.
position. That's my job. Cause it's not like you just home relaxing on the couch or whatever. I'm home for a reason. I'm home to either take care of the children. There's a reason I am home. I'm home to take care of an elderly mother, an elderly parent. I am home for a reason. So that is a full-time job.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been a stay-at-home parent or a stay-at-home person. It is a full-time job to stay at home and not have any outside activity to be able to go out and contribute income to come into the household.
It's actually, I think, a lot harder.
It's harder.
Yeah.
To be a
It's
stay at
harder.
home than go to your job and do your clock in, clock out thing.
So now the church is rocking. Y'all see I have my rock on, right?
Mhm.
So let me say this. In this pivotal time, we all staying home.
Yes.
Period, point blank.
We all staying home.
Yes.
Everybody.
So if you stay at home in the bedroom and I'm staying home in the living room,
who clean it up? That's what I
Well,
mean by the most time in a relationship, the women take on that obligation.
Yeah.
Because obligation basically means you're compelled to do it. So not necessarily mean that she's gonna do it, but you initiate, you teach the kids. The men, they go and they at work. So that leaves us to have to kind of establish the environment of cleanliness. That's what you may not be doing it all, but you have to kind of set the boundaries because men don't always come knowing.
Honestly, my husband is cleaner than I am.
You got lucky, B.
Oh,
You got lucky.
I did.
You got
But
lucky. You
Thank
got
you,
a good
baby.
one.
And I am appreciative too. He
Yes,
is. He's
thank
more
you.
cleaner than, but I wasn't the cleaner. Even growing up as a child, I had an older sister, I had a mom, and they cleaned. The
Yeah.
only thing I can remember doing as a child is washing dishes, and that's 'cause my dad forced us to wash dishes for the week. But I remember my sister and my mom cleaning, and they are the clean freaks.
so that goes back to the upbringing that we
upbringing,
talked
okay.
about.
Right. So
Are you obligated to tell your mate though? Is that something that you're obligated to divulge
So
in a
it's
relationship?
not that I told him, I let him see.
Now see, that's a
See,
big
I'm
one.
not. I didn't try to hide and clean up every time he came over.
Mm.
You're gonna see me the way I am because I don't want you to be surprised.
No,
And
I
then
If I come here and my bed ain't made.
Listen, and that goes back to the old saying that don't start nothing you can't
That's
finish.
right.
So
That's
don't
right.
start cleaning up
That
the whole house if you know
representative
that you're not
has
going
left
to
the
clean up.
building.
So what about this, ladies? Because here's a big one. Here's the big one. What about the man being responsible and paying all the bills?
It depends on the mate that you with. It depends on the situation that you're in. Some relationships I've been in that was a potential.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't my preference, but it was a potential. And some mates relationships I've been in that wasn't a potential. We was gonna have to bust that thing down the middle if we wanted to eat. Period.
Well, of course, because of the situation. and
Right. So
circumstance.
I think it's circumstantial.
Yeah,
depending
I
on
agree.
who-
And so in my marriage that was years and years and years ago. He took it upon himself. It wasn't something that we sat down and said that you're gonna take full responsibility of all of the bills.
Mhm.
It was his upbringing. That's what he witnessed with his parents. And so it was just automatic. And my money was the play money. So I was buying Gucci this and Louis
Doing the
that
vacations
and
and
the
stuff.
vacations and the clothes, and his responsibilities, his money took
Over
care of
there.
the bills. And I'll be honest with you, it was a relief to have a man to be comfortable knowing that everything was taken care of. But there were some times and some situations where I had to help in areas, and I didn't mind helping because it was still one household. We were sustaining the household and being able to have extracurricular activities at the same time. But today this age, now they feeling like every relationship should split the bills down the middle. So how do y'all feel about that?
I think every relationship is different because in today's society, you have more women making more money than men.
True.
And let me tell you something. Before I left corporate America, almost every guy I dated, I made way more money than they did.
Right.
Unless you owned your own business, you probably made more money than I did. So if I was to live partner with somebody, I'm not going to expect, if I'm bringing in 75% more money than you,
Right.
Yeah.
that you take your 20 and just split that thing down the
See,
middle.
that's a
Yeah.
woman. That you
That's
know
just
that
me.
but to
I agree
me
with
it
you on
makes
that,
it
though.
makes sense.
It does.
We are in this together.
Yes,
we
we
are
are.
each other's
That's a true
partner.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to take your entire check if you're not gonna have any money.
And a provider is a
mean-
provider is a provider. It doesn't
Right.
matter what the number is. If he's a provider,
Yes.
you may make more money, but he's still going to be that provider. He's going to play that
Yeah.
station. He's going to do that position.
But do you think that there should be a conversation? You think that we need to sit down and okay, now I make about 70% more than you, but at the end of the day, that don't mean that you could just play and I'm supposed to be responsible for everything.
Well, I don't know, Mika. You sound like you was playing when he was taking care of everything.
Yeah, I was.
So why that man
no,
can't play?
no. I was playing, but we had an understanding that my money was the play money.
To play money
Okay.
for the family.
Right.
So would
not
you
just
be
for me.
okay with
Yeah.
the man being the one that has the play money?
Ooh, I don't know. Pray for me. Lord Jesus.
It's kind of,
It depends. It depends.
Well.
Because first of all, I'm gonna be in a situation where I'm not even gonna have to look at, because either you're growing to where you're trying to go, and I'm helping you along in that process, but we can't stay there. We definitely can't stay
let's
there.
ask the wife.
But why
Wifey.
why are we making it about money, that it's in that relationship? So does it really matter who makes the most money? Even if you're at, just say for sake easeability, $100,000. You're at 100 and your husband or your man is at 50,000. Are you saying that he has to get up to 100,000?
No, I'm just saying that he has to be obligated to understand that just because you may be at 30,
Growth
which
is important.
exactly,
Right.
growth
No
is important.
stagnation.
Right. That's my
I'm
whole
with you.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, you
I'm
got to
with
be a
you.
goal getter.
I'm
Right.
with you on that. You have to be striving
Yes.
for more.
Yes, and
I'm
I'm
with
gonna
you. I
help
can
you
That's
get to
sexy.
that point.
I can get that.
I'm gonna help you get to that point because we're gonna be better together when you get
Exactly.
We
there.
are, we are one.
But you can't be complacent and
Yeah.
figure that that's no. I'm
No,
sorry.
that's like I told my friend, we was having a conversation the other day, and I said, some people out here playing games, but I'm building from
Yes.
bones to body. Period.
She did say that.
Bones to
From
body.
Bones to body. Look it up. Figure it out. You will know that's important when you out here dating and trying to create a future with somebody. Your mindset has to be the complete in totality, inside out, not what's on the surface level. Period.
Bones to body. Come on,
She said
bones.
that. She said that.
Goodness, girl, that's
Also-
a whole in itself.
Yeah, it is. Also,
Yes.
what about an obligation if he has children? Are they obligated to tell you about their 3, 4, 5 kids?
Yes.
Okay.
I
I just
think-
want to know how y'all feel. I'm sorry.
That's
Y'all
not
making me
even-
clutch my imaginary pearls.
No, but definitely, because for one, you should want to share. That's number one, because those are your children. And you should want to share them with someone who you're potentially wanting to date and be your significant. Now, if you hide them, it's a problem.
It's a problem.
It's a problem
There's a problem
in
with
the
you.
Mhm.
A problem with
and
you.
that's what when you say obligations, those are the things that I thought, because obligation means compel. Most things in relationships we choose to do. We use volition. It's our choice.
Right.
But there are some things that you don't have a choice in a matter.
Yeah.
Not to be in a relationship with me.
Yeah.
You know, if you got
going to
HIV,
jail. Oh,
herpes, stuff like that.
listen, don't even get on.
It's not curable.
I'm not going to do that.
Don't go.
It's not curable.
Yeah, that's an obligation.
Well, some things.
That's
yeah,
a
have
death
to be
sentence
disclosed.
if it's not.
Yeah,
When you say
it-
obligation,
yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, you have to, and children are. That's an obligation.
what about
You should-
divorced or old marriages, or y'all legally separated but you still ain't got the
Now,
paperwork behind it?
Legally separated, I think you're obligated to tell me. Divorce, if it's something in your past, especially if you.
What about
okay,
four
you're
divorces?
Okay, you're obligated to do that. Because I want to know, why is that number 4? Because I don't think I'm trying to
Right,
be number 5.
Right, but I think you should.
You ain't no
I
Elizabeth
think
Taylor.
when you share your past, not necessarily all of the details of your past when it comes to your previous relationships, your previous marriages, but I do believe that you should say that if you've been divorced or not, and if there's some things that you've learned from the divorce, or if there's some things that you are working on in between your divorce and your next relationship, because that may give me some compassion or give you some grace in areas where you're trying to grow. That's just my opinion.
I agree with
I
that.
think you should be obligated to tell me anything that may impact me.
Yes.
Yeah, give me the choices. Don't make them for
Don't
me.
take my choice away from me.
I agree with that.
Yes. If you tell me and I choose, okay, at least you
Yeah,
disclose, and then
right.
I take on the responsibility of whatever happen. But if you choose not to disclose something that's
Yeah.
going to impact me and later it
Yeah.
comes out, I am.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys have watched some of the TV shows that's out, and I won't say any names, but there's an episode that's circulating, and the drama behind it is the gentleman that the young lady is dating in college had a encounter with a man only one time in his life, that one time, and now they're together, and he's struggling if he should share that with her. He's not gay, but he had an experience. Do you think that a man is obligated to tell you something as intimate as that?
So I agree with Tisa. If it's something that's going to come out later that's going to affect us, I agree that you should share. And that to me is something, because if it's already out on TV and whomever this person may be may come out later on and say that this happened. Even though this was an experience for you, now it has become an experience for us.
Okay, y'all know who
And
I'm talking about.
So no, we don't.
No, we don't.
But guess what?
I don't know. I don't watch
If
TV
you
like that.
watch TV, you need to go check that out because maybe it may be on the next episode. It's conversation.
Okay.
But we have had an amazing time talking about the Rose Bowl Chronicles, talking
Yes.
about obligations from a man and a woman in relationships. But we are going to go into a commercial break so you can understand and you can see how you can become one of our guests or advertise on another episode of Me Houston. We'll be right back. We're back with another amazing conversation, the Rose Bowl Chronicles. So let's give some final thoughts, you guys. Let's talk about what we shared and how do you feel ultimately about obligations for men and women in relationships?
They exist.
They exist.
Yeah.
I think there should be independent. Each relationship is different and each person is different. What used to work for our family doesn't necessarily works for you because times are different.
Right.
I agree. I think that it definitely makes a difference between the households and how
Yeah.
you were raised.
Yeah.
And that I think that should be open dialogue.
It
I
is.
think I believe that
agree.
every relationship we are so stuck into where we are so scared to talk about the things that we need to talk about that's going to have a lasting effect on our relationship.
Yeah.
So I believe as well, I believe that there are some obligations, and if they are, it's okay to talk about what the obligations
Yeah.
are based on
And be
your
comfortable with
upbringing. Right. And I think it'll have a lasting effect, a good lasting effect, or it may be
Yeah.
something that you'll know early on that this is just not the relationship for
That's
me.
it.
This
That's
is a
it.
deal breaker.
Yeah, I agree. So we had some fun facts and some things that are happening in Houston. So let's talk about that. This is Meet Houston. So we got to
Yes.
find out what's happening within our city.
Yeah, so I talked about it's October Breast Cancer
Yes.
Awareness Month,
Mhm.
and also that Kima Boardwalk is now open, and you can enjoy the festivals all month of October, somewhere you can take the family out to.
Wow.
Yes, and I explained to you guys that you can get a hola and a ciao, baby, right here in Houston, because 145 languages. Do the math.
Man, she had 3 languages in one sentence.
Yes, she
Hola, ciao, and
Baby.
bang.
Happening in Houston. Fun fact.
Yes, so this is another amazing episode of Meet Houston. Make sure that you tune in on GMT TV on next week at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. We can't wait for you guys to witness. I am Mika Diamond, the host of the Morning Tea Radio Show right here on GMT Radio, 8 o'clock a.m. to 10 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday.
And I am Chris Bryant, the host of the City Highlights on Monday through Friday from 2 until 4 p.m. Central Standard Time.
And I am Leticia B, the host of Overcoming and Becoming. You can watch me on PromoteHerTV.com every Thursday night at 7 p.m. your time.
All right, so it's been a great, amazing episode. So we will see you next week. Have an amazing Wednesday.